Hey guys, Fazzy back here, and in today's video I wanted to have a conversation around Be a Pro. There's a few things I want to get into. If somehow you guys did not see, Be a Pro is going to be receiving a massive overhaul in NHL 26. After remaining the same for 5 years, we're finally going to get some very substantive changes. So the first half of this video is just going to be going over a little bit of news that was missed around Be a Pro, and the second half is going to be regarding things I want to see and things I do not want to see. This has been something I've been thinking about for the last couple of days, and I don't know exactly what direction they're going to be going in. So let's just start with some of the news that came out earlier this last week. I believe it was Thrash that found this on the Best Buy website. So there's a few extra points that had not been previously reported on. First one, Be a Pro lets you rise from rookie to superstar through new storylines, characters, challenges, impactful choices, and voice-acted cutscenes. Okay, so this first point right now, let's put a pin in it. Let's come back to that. I do have a few things I want to say about that, and that kind of leads into the second half of the video. So the second point, play in the World Juniors to the draft and feel the emotions of your first pro game, big plays, tough interviews, and possible returns to the minors, everything that shapes your journey to stardom. So right there does confirm that there is a potential that you do get sent down to the minors. Obviously, we already knew about the inclusion of the World Juniors. Super cool. I love that they finally have added that in. They need to add in more kind of like real-time events like that, like the All-Star game. The World Juniors is a very nice get though for Be a Pro. Also, in Be a Pro, shape your personality and play style with unique abilities and X factors, letting you choose between being a flashy superstar and a humble locker room hero. So again, this kind of ties in with those new X factors that were revealed in the gameplay deep dive on this last Wednesday. And we have kind of seen this in Be a Pro in the last few years. You can go and give all the star answers you want to be that flashy superstar, or you can be the team player, go for, all the team answers when it comes to interviews and stuff like that. So it looks like that's going to be at least somewhat, I'm guessing, staying the same in that regard. And then lastly, genuine tunnel walkouts for select NHL teams and fresh facial animations add extra realism and emotion to your journey to the cup. So tunnel walkouts, something that people have wanted to see for years and years. We've had it in the past, ended up getting removed a couple of years ago now at least. And yeah, it's good to see it finally come back. I believe, unfortunately, it's just for Be a Pro, and it's kind of weird it's only for select teams. Like, you think that they could make a kind of generic hallway, even if they couldn't get to every single team. Like, have the few select ones that you can customize and make exactly how they are, and then have kind of a generic one where you can kind of just copy and paste the logo for ones that whatever reason you couldn't get around to. I don't know. It is what it is. At least it's coming back for some teams. So that's all the news that was leaked on, I shouldn't even say leaked, that was revealed on the Best Buy website this last week. I want to go back to that first point though, because it has me questioning a few things. I don't know if I would say I'm concerned, but I'm interested to see how they go. And for me, it comes down to where it says new storylines, characters, and impactful choices. So to me, this seems like it's going to be more than just playing every single game in a season, trying to, win the Calder, win the Stanley Cup in your first season. And that there's going to be some kind of underlining story to that. And I'm not sure if that's the right way to go about it or not. And you can look around different sport games around the industry. You look at Road to the Show, probably the best career mode out there, at least in my opinion. I don't know. And then you can look at NBA 2K. They've taken a lot of flack for involving too many interesting story plots, let's just say, into some of their games. I think of recent they've been better with that, but if you go back to, I think it was 2K16, people are dying in the story mode and it just gets really weird for a sport game. By no means do I think that's going to be anything like what happens in NHL 26, but you kind of get my point. At some point, you kind of have to focus on just your journey, your career. And there's obviously big events that happen throughout that. I just don't think you need to really manufacture other stories that may just kind of go a little bit over the top sometimes. Like I was saying, you have so many cool events that you go through throughout your career. The World Juniors is a fantastic start, but continue to add the All-Star game, add the skills competition. Hey, you have the IIHF rights or whatever, have like the men's world championships. If for some reason somehow you can get the Olympic rights next year, add stuff like that in. And there's just endless opportunities and options you have for that. So I'm going to be very interested. I'm guessing there's going to be a deep dive at least probably this week, if not for sure the week after, regarding all the changes coming to Be a Pro. But I'm very interested, and I'm a little bit cautious about storylines and characters. Who knows, maybe that's just a throwaway line on the Best Buy ad. Maybe this is all nothing. Who knows? But I've just seen other sport games take that path, and sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. So, just something I wanted to bring up that I've been thinking about over the past few days. And then the last thing I kind of want to get into for what I want to see with Be a Pro, and it's a small thing, I'll say that right now, but it's something that should have been updated, many years ago. Even with NHL 21, I'm surprised it wasn't upgraded, and that is contract negotiations. Currently, in Be a Pro, it's an absolute joke when you come up for a contract. Correct me if I'm wrong, but once you're a free agent, you just get 2 offers from 2 random teams, 2 or 3, I don't know, it's something like that. You can't negotiate the term, you can't negotiate the money, and I'm pretty sure your play doesn't even really dictate how much you get and how long you get. I'm pretty sure it's just all based off overall. So why is that the system we currently have? You just added in the new negotiations for franchise mode last year. I'm not saying it's a perfect, port over and something like that would work. I don't think it would. I think some changes would be needed for sure, but something has to be better than just pick option A or option B with no customization at all. That to me is just insane that we still have that in 2025. Just going back to Road to the Show for an example here for a sec, they do a great job. They keep it as immersive as I think you can, and they give you the control to go where you want and not necessarily make the amount of money you might want, but if you are deserving of that, you can negotiate with more or less any different team and really shape your career that way for where you want to go. And not just have it dictated by the game selecting a random team that, may have some salary cap space. I don't know, that's just me. That's one of the really big issues I've had with Be a Pro over the last number of years, because that element could be so much better. And again, it's a small little piece, but once you become a free agent, it is kind of cool to really be able to explore your options and opportunities. But yeah, I think more or less that's going to do it for today's video. Going over some of the news that has come out over the past week, as well as just kind of talking and speculating what the storyline elements may be, characters, challenges. We didn't even really mention voice-acted cutscenes. That's really cool. I wonder how many people they were able to get for voice acting again. It's going to be really interesting to see what they did with Be a Pro once we get some of these details that we're kind of waiting on. But hopefully that comes out within, the next week or two, and hopefully it turns out to be a phenomenal change and a phenomenal year for Be a Pro. But we will have to wait and see. But that'll do it for this video here today, and we'll see you all in the next one.